Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. In today's video, we're going to be learning how to sing higher without straining. Let's do it. Okay, so before we dive headfirst into doing some vocal exercises to address the strain, first I think it's going to be helpful if we just define what it is. Okay, so I'm going to say that the strain that you're experiencing is either one or two of these things or both put together. And the first thing I'll talk about is that your throat is likely becoming very closed and tight rather than being free and open. Okay, so you might have heard people describe things like sing with an open throat is what you want to achieve when singing freely, things like that. So if I were to do a demonstration of that, it'd be like this. This is a very open sound, a very open, expanded throat. Ah, or oh, and this is a very tight, closed off sort of sound, and it literally feels like the throat is smaller and more closed off. Ah, oh. And before we delve into fixing that, let me just point out that the other strain that you might be experiencing is when the larynx raises too much as you sing higher into your range. Okay, so an example of that is la, la, and obviously just gets tight and strained. That's not what you want. You want la. You want the larynx to slightly raise. That's okay. It can raise slightly, and some styles use it more raised than others, but you don't want it to be overly raised and tight. So recently I actually uploaded a video on how to breathe correctly for singing with a lot of vocal freedom. And this video went in depth on how to get rid of jaw tension in the breath. It taught you how to take the breath deeper into the body and feel the pressure in the belly. And we're going to go over that now because the same technique that I shared in that video is what's going to allow us to get rid of this tight throat, closed off throat feeling that you might have right now. But if you want to watch the original video and spend a bit longer watching it and learning it properly and not just going over it quickly like I'm going to do now, definitely go and check that out. So I'll put the link here now. But let's just go over it quickly. And some of you might even have this down pretty well. Or you might not even struggle with this first issue in the first place. It might just be the second one. Anyway, let's get into it. So place your hands on the sides of your stomach. Now I've got it in the soft, fleshy part of my body after where my rib cage ends, okay? So I can literally feel that my rib cage ends here, and then where my hands are just below that, okay? Now what I want you to do is stand up nice and tall, and I want you to open up your mouth really tall like this. It doesn't need to be painful, but it might be slightly uncomfortable if you're not used to doing that. So open up really nice and tall with your hands still down here, and take a deep silent breath. And exhale. Now we're going to do that again, but this time I want you to try and focus the breath down into your body and get an expansion in the lower part of your stomach. So right where your belly button is, see if you can get that lower part to expand outwards as you take the breath. So I'll do that. I'll do 3. Remember to keep it silent. So I'll just share a clip of my original video here. So now what we're going to do is actually pitch a note while using the belly pressure down there to sustain the note so that the note isn't really caught in the throat, okay? So I'll explain what that means right now just by doing it. So put your hands on the side of your stomach, set it all up again, open your mouth nice and tall, take a silent breath deep into the belly, and I'm going to pitch a note on the vowel of ah, like the word far, and I'm just going to sustain it. And I'm going to really try and focus it down the lower belly. So I'm going to give that a go. Ah. You can try it a bit lower and louder. Ah. Ah. It doesn't really matter what pitch you sing at, whether you're a male or a female. It's obviously going to dictate where you're going to be singing at. And if you've got a very low voice, it's going to be lower than mine, etc. But what I want you to feel and try and feel into is that pressure in the lower belly. when you try to expand your range or just sing higher into your current range, the larynx sometimes wants to just keep raising along with it. And what that sounds like is it gets incredibly whiny, it gets overly bright, it can hurt, and ultimately it's actually not your true vocal tone, because you might be singing something like this, like, and so I refuse my own reality. It's one of my original songs. You might be wanting to sing like that, but it comes out like this. And so I refuse my own reality. And that actually might be your default sound, the second one that I just sang. That kind of sound might actually be what your voice wants to always go to. And it's not really a true voice. It's just your lack of technique is only allowing your voice to get to that spot. And what we're going to do here is an R sound on a 4-tone scale. So here's what a 4-tone scale sounds like. Ah. What I want to tell you is that what we're going to do as we get higher is we're going to do something called a vowel modification, which is changing the original vowel that we sang to a more or and darker sound. So, ah. Now I physically can take it all the way up on the ah. Ah. But because we're trying to solve your issue of getting stuck in the larynx, we're going to go to the or sound. We're going to start here at C3 to C4. So follow along after me. Ah. Give it a go. If you need to pause the video, go ahead and do that. I'm going to play the next one. Ah. All right. And now that we're at D4, or the starting note is D3 and the high note is D4, we're going to change the 4th note from an ah to an or. Okay? So if you imagine that an ah sound is like the word far or car, you want to imagine that the or is like the word maybe like more or for, or. It's like that. So remember, only the 4th note is going to be an or. So this is critical because we're going to use this same sound for the next few after this. So I'll do a demonstration, then I want you to follow along after me. Deep breath. Ah. Got that? Let's keep going up. Ah. All right. Keep going up. Ah. All right, we're on the E4. I apologize if I'm not giving you enough time to do it. Go ahead and pause the video as you need to do the exercise. All right. Ah. Okay, so now we're at this note, F sharp 4, or the bottom note is F sharp 3, and then we're going to the F sharp 4 at the top. Now, this is what, some vocal coaches would call the passaggio or break. So I will admit it gets a bit trickier here. And because we're trying to sing with a connected chest voice into the higher range, we're going to have to modify it a little bit here if you're struggling with the larynx getting too high, okay? So what we're going to do here, and I'll put it on the screen, is go to ah, or. So we're doing the or on the 3rd note now, and the 4th note is going to a Okay, it's a little bit hard to understand just by hearing that, but I'll do a demonstration. Remember. Ah. All right. One more time. Ah, o, Now the word could be like book, It's a bit hard to describe. Just give it a go. Ah. It's like a deep operatic tone. I think that's a good way to describe it. All right, so why don't you give that a go? All right, good job. Let's go up to the next few notes. Same thing. Ah. And on the way back down, you can either do the vowel modification going down, like ah, or ah, or just go back down to the ah. Doesn't matter. All right. Now we'll do the next one. Ah. All right. What I'll tell you here is do not be afraid to make it deep, dark, and operatic. Because if your issue is that your larynx is getting caught into the high range, you're going to need to probably go a lot darker and deeper than you would expect. Because we're trying to get the larynx to stay down. Ah. All right, cool. So that was it. So what we're going to do now is the female pitches. Now, ladies, I'll just do the first couple notes with you. Then I'll leave it to you on your own. But I'll at least tell you where to change. And if you're struggling at all with it, you can go back and watch the male exercise, which I just demonstrated along, and hear where the changes are. Or I might join you in falsetto, but we'll just see. So why don't you start here for me? So all in ah. Ah. Show me that. Next one. Ah. Ah. Cool. Now, just like the guys did, we're going to go to or. Remember, like more or for. More, for, or on the fourth note, okay? So we're going to go ah, make it or. All right? So I'm not going to do any more demonstrations, but I want you to just follow along with the instructions on the screen and the pitches that I'm playing. So I'll play that for you. Go to or just on the fourth note and come back down. Next one. All right, good. So now we've got a few more to do. And what you've got to do here is do exactly what the guys did, which is go from o to okay? So if you need a refresher, go and rewind the video and listen to the way we change the third and fourth note. So remember it's, I'll do it an octave down. Ah. All right, give that a go. So the side note is ah. All right, go ahead. Last one. So that was. All right, good job. So now that we've finished the exercises, I just want to show you where this fits in terms of singing songs, okay? So for this, I'm going to demonstrate an original song of mine called A Life Worth Living. And the start of the song goes like this. Caught between reality and fiction. And the first note is an F, an F4, on the word caught. Notice what I'm doing there though. I'm going to an or sound. I'm taking the breath. Caught between reality and fiction. And interestingly, when we were doing the exercise together, for the guys, on the F note, we were taking the F4 to an or. Ah. And when I'm singing the song, it naturally actually goes to caught between reality and fiction. Now, my voice actually most likely goes to that automatically because I've trained the scales to do that. But it actually feels very free. I like the tone, so I'm satisfied with doing it like that. But what I want to tell you is that as you get better with your larynx not getting so tight and raised all the time, and you're actually able to manipulate the sound a bit more, you will be able to take the R sound quite bright into the high range. For example, like you could go, caught between reality and fiction. Here I didn't sing or, I sing ah. Caught. That's not too tight and high or anything. Like I can get away with that. So I really think developing your ability to not get so caught in the throat and get your larynx to be so raised and always pulling up actually allows you to get a greater freedom when approaching the songs you want to sing. So you're definitely becoming a better vocalist as you develop this stuff, because if you're going to become a good vocalist, you want to be able to sing songs in a dark way, in a soft way, in a bright way, in a loud way. You know, you need as much freedom and ability to control your voice as you can get. So the last tip that I'm going to leave you with is go and check out a recording of your favorite artists and really try and listen to the way that their vowels or just the sounds that they make might deepen as they sing into the high range. A good example of a good singer doing this is Brendan Urie, Panic at the Disco. So go and listen to him sing live. You might be surprised how deep he actually goes into the high range. And yeah, I think he's a good singer for you to check out. If you've got any questions at all, make sure to leave a comment below this video. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe if you hadn't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.